welcome to another episode of our Back to Basics series where we are going to make these scrumptious little journals. So I've made a few here and they're all available on my shabbydabbydoodah.co.uk website. I'm just going to give you a very quick flip through of just one or two of them. They are all different. They contain different papers and things, but they also do contain a lot of vintage papers as well as kind of deli paper and printables, vellum, all sorts of different things. And they are, yeah, just absolutely scrumptious, very tactile and scrummy, and yeah, just really, really love them. So that is one. I will just show you another one that hopefully kind of quite different colours. So that's that one. Oh, let's show you this one because I loved how this one turned out with the pale pinks. So okie dokie, it's got a gorgeous, very pastel-y, pale theme running through it. Again, lots of scrumptious papers, some vellum and things. Very tactile, very you know, scrumptious to hold. I love this piece of genuine ephemera here. Isn't that gorgeous in this pale pink on this very thin paper? And then some little bits there. So I mean, they're very lovely, aren't they? And I will just show you this blue one here that's to the side. I won't show you this one because that's the one that we're about to make together, and hopefully you may feel inspired to make along with me. But if you don't, obviously, like I say, these are going to be available on my website to tie in with the video. So this one here, isn't that just so scrumptious? Lots of, again, vintage ephemera and other papers, all just bound in there. And obviously, you know, you're going to see a bit more how we make this in a moment when we actually go on to make this little one here. So that's that one. I am going to just show you this one now because otherwise I feel like, well, that's the only one I haven't shown you now. So let me just quickly tie this one back up. Okie dokie. Yeah, I had such a lot of fun making all of these, I have to say. So absolutely loved it. And we've got this one. And they did all turn out quite different, to be honest. They've all got very different colours going on. So they all look, you know, quite unique and quite different looking. But they've all got the same, you know, basic concept going on as to how we've actually kind of made them. So, yeah, just really, really, you know, tactile, lovely pieces. And you will obviously see a bit more about them and hear a bit more about you know, the description of them and things as we go along and make them. So if you would like to join along and make one, then stay tuned and we're going to do that now. Hi guys, this is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. So we're here for another one of our episodes of Back to Basics, where we are kind of winding things right back and doing some very basic junk journals in kind of different formations and things, but without all the fuss and, you know, the gubbins and the folding and complicated things that sometimes we do. So what have I got here today? I've got a bunch of different papers. Now they are ranging from, I've got the deli paper. So these are all kind of papers that I've used, you know, previously. But we're going to obviously do them in a different way. So I've got some deli paper, I've got some printables. Now my printables, they have been coffee dyed on the backs. So yeah, I've got some of those. I've got some vintage document, different types. I've got here some fly sheet from, you know, a book. I've got some transparency film. I've obviously messed up printing this, so I would probably just use this. Well, I would only use that section. I wouldn't use this part that's obviously, you know, looking pretty atrocious. But I've brought that along, and I've got some vellum. I've got some more printed vintage document, sorry, and I've got some doily here. Now, another thing actually, which I had meant to bring along, which I didn't, is I've got some paper bag here. So I'm going to also just bring this in. Yeah, so if I just cut that down, because this is also going to be really nice, I think, in this style of journal that we're going to make. So what are we going to do? We are going to pile our papers up, and then we're going to enclose them or encase them into a cover. So I'm going to start with whatever it is that I would like at the very back. So what would I like to have at the very back? Okay, well, perhaps we'll have something like this at the very back. So I'm going to start by, let's just think how we're going to be doing this. I'm going to tear this down, and I'm going to tear it, yeah, kind of like approximately in half. Now I'm not going to get too, you know, caught up in how I'm tearing this, whether it's actually in half or not. So this piece I'm going to just trim off here, because I will use this somewhere else in this, you know, little piled kind of pile of papers. Oops, yeah, I'm not very straight with my cutting at all. So then what I will do is obviously tear this edge down. Now I'm tearing the edges because I really like the, you know, the torn edge look. If you're not keen on the torn edges, you could always have, you know, cut edges. I think the torn edges are really rather nice. So that's why I'm, you know, doing mine torn. So there we go. So we've got two kind of pages already. Now I've got here this vellum. I have to say, I mean, vellum is quite cool when it's coffee dyed. So I might just coffee dye that in a minute. So we'll see. Then here with this transparency, I'm going to cut it down. Now a bit of a tip for cutting transparency, and this is a do as I say, not as I do, obviously, as I'm not doing this, but I find it very helpful to place something under it to cut against. So, you know, in an ideal world, I would have put this on a sheet of, say, or against a sheet of white paper and cut it against that, because then it just makes it much easier to see through. So let me just see if I've got some bit page here. Here we go. I mean, it's not perfect, to be honest, because I could do with just plain, but can you see how, I mean, that probably actually makes it worse, to be honest. I was going to say, can you see how that makes it better? No, it makes it worse. Let's see. What do I think? Okay, well, I've got here, this is just some calendar here, but it just, if you've got it against the white, it just makes it a bit easier for cutting down. So I'm just going to cut that like that, and then just go, hopefully getting it slightly straighter across there like that. Okay, so that's a piece of transparency. Like I say, I probably won't use the, well, I won't be using this, you know, messy end, so just going to cut that off and throw that away. Might just have one sheet of transparency, I'm not sure. Let's just throw this in the bin. Oh, what's happened to my piece that I just cut? What have I done with that? Now this is the only problem with working with transparency and things, is obviously it's so see-through that it can get lost in amongst your stuff on your desk. Oh my goodness, I mean, can you believe that? What have I done with that piece that I literally just cut against here? Oh, it's here, look. See, it had flicked off to the side, and then of course you just can't see it. So that can go on like that. Then we're going to mix it in. So this is from my Savile Row papers. Now I kind of feel like it would tie in quite nicely with this Maribel paper. So I'm going to just tear this down here. Oops, not a good job of tearing there, like that. Okay, that can just slot in here. Now I will kind of probably rearrange these papers in a minute, but for the moment we'll just sort of put them down, you know, in a random sort of fashion. So just going to tear across here, and then just cut this down on the edge. Hopefully we can just have this somewhere as well. So yeah, maybe something like that. Now obviously I want to have kind of the biggest pieces of paper towards the back and then getting smaller. But that being said, I'm not going to do I was going to have this, sorry, the tea collection papers, but I'm not sure whether I want to introduce the pink. So I'm going to just put that to one side. This is from the clocks collection. I think that would be okay. Yeah, I'm not sure, if I'm truthful, whether I no, sorry, I was then talking about that paper again. Yes, I don't want to necessarily have it piled up and getting smaller, you know, per se, but just have it layered up. But I mean, obviously I wouldn't necessarily have like the really small bits kind of buried in here. Well, let me just try that actually. Now I've said that, I may change my mind. Well, let's just have a look and see. So I've got this fly sheet that can just go in here, I think. Yep. Okie dokie. I've got some smaller pieces of genuine vintage ephemera here, so they can definitely go in, which is rather nice. Got this blue one as well. That can maybe go in there. Okay, then I've got some vintage document. So I'm going to just tear this down as well. Oops. Oh my goodness, look at my shoddy tearing. It is not good, is it? I hate it when you have those kind of just wide ends. It just looks really strange, doesn't it? So these are obviously smaller than the full height of the paper, if you see what I mean. But I don't mind that. So we can have that one in there, and yeah, perhaps I'll have this one further back like that. So I mean, we are already getting, you know, a fairly good bunch of paper on here. So let's just have, let's have some of this deli paper. So I love using this deli paper. It's really, really nice. So I'm just going to take it down there. And then I'm going to just cut it. So yeah, let's just like that. And then we're just going to tear down here like that. Just going to cut across here. Okay, so we've got a couple of sheets of this, but what I can do is turn them upside down. Oh, I thought I'd cut that open, but I haven't yet. So cut that open here. And then what I can do is turn that over like that. So they're kind of running the opposite way like that. So I've just got kind of like two different directional papers. So I'm going to put that one in there. And then this one in here, I think, maybe in there. Okay, so again, just shuffle those down. I mean, can you see already? We're getting quite a good bunch of these, aren't we? So, you know, it's building up quite quickly. Let's move that deli paper out of the way. I'm still debating, do I want to chop down the, not chop down, sorry, coffee dye the vellum paper? I think I probably do. So I'll have to do that in a second. Oh, we've got the paper bag. Nearly forgot about that. So the paper bag, oh, that's a shame. I'm just going to see how this comes off. Oh, it's a bit damaging to the paper bag. I probably could have got it off a bit more delicately, but you know me, I just like to go in and gung-ho kind of tear it down. Right, so I'm thinking, yeah, I mean, that's a bit of a shame because that's quite wonky there. I think I'd be better off, yeah, neatening this up. So I'm going to just tear it, or take it down, sorry, here. And then at the top, like that. So I'm just going to go in and tear that down here. Okay, it's got a torn piece there, so I'm just going to go for that, to be honest, because that would be, you know, the natural place, really. And actually, that edge is not as wonky as I expected, so yeah, just cut that down. And then across here. Okay, right. Pop this in here. Yeah, I'll just pop it like that. That's fine. Right, so yeah, liking how those look. I've got this other sheet from the clocks paper, so I'm going to just, again, neaten this edge up along here. Oops. Move it over a bit. And then we're going to just, yeah, tear this one down. Like that. Okay, and that one can go there. Okay, right. Now I'm going to have to just coffee dye this vellum because, I mean, I could put it in like this, to be honest. But I do really like vellum when it's coffee dyed. So I think coffee dyeing it would be good. So hold on. Okay, so I like to just keep a cup of sort of black coffee behind my desk just for coffee dyeing, and I just literally mop it on with a tissue or a, you know, dry wipe, whichever I happen to have to hand. So yeah, and we just go over like that. I wouldn't do this for kind of bulk coffee dyeing, by the way. I would, oops, oh dear, look what's happened to my transparency film. Should have kept that out the way of the water, shouldn't I? Yes. Didn't really think of that. I might have to cut a different piece now. We'll see how it is. Yeah, I wouldn't do this for kind of like bulk coffee dyeing, but definitely, you know, if I've just got 1 or 2 pieces, then I think it's absolutely fine. Now, what can happen when you're vellum, when you're coffee dyeing vellum, is, as you can see, it wrinkles up and wants to kind of like squish up. So I'm going to just try and dry this off now with my heat tool. So I'll just turn the camera off while I do that. Okay, so I've dried that off. It's not quite dry, but you know, it's or it's not totally dry, but it's quite dry, perhaps I should say. So then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to iron it. Now, I'm going to fold it in amongst this page, so hopefully I don't kind of ruin it. So sometimes I've been a bit over keen to iron the vellum, and I've ironed it before it's really dry, and then what you just get is like a bubbling effect. So I'm trying to eliminate that by just popping it in between the paper, so like that. Okay, so now it's kind of drier, it's obviously fine to go over, but yeah, it seems to be, if you do it and it's got some sort of dampness to it, you can get this kind of bubbling effect. So I'm just trying to avoid that, really. So there we go. Now, isn't this absolutely scrumptious? I mean, vellum's lovely anyway, but I wish you could all feel this, and hopefully you can hear it. It just has a bit of a different kind of thing going on to before the coffee dye. So let me just wipe down the desk now from the coffee dye. Okay, so we can now put this into our bundle. Let me just unplug the iron before I have a horrible accident with that. Okay, get that out of the way. Okay, so yeah, we can pop this into our little bundle here as well. So just I'm going to take that down like that. Okay, just put that in here. Oh no, it's going to go there. And then this piece, which is obviously quite big, I'm just going to take it down again. In fact, I'm going to cut it down on the edge, I think. Like that. Oops, did not make a very good job of cutting that. Oh, I'm not sure I have even that time. Oh well, never mind. I'm sure that's fine. So let's hope that this is now not wider than that bottom piece. No, it's kind of just about similar size. So I'm just going to put that in there. Oh, it is wider, look. I mean, not that it probably matters a great deal, but I'll just take it down literally a fraction. Oops. Like that. Okay, right. So we'll pop that then in here like that. Okay, so I mean, we're building this up quite nicely, aren't we? It's coming along quite well. I mean, it's very annoying that I have done that to that transparency film. That being said, once you pop it down, actually it's not really visible, although that was upside down because the text was up the wrong way. Oh well, let's just pop that in there. And then I have got some doily as well, so I'm just thinking, could we have a bit of doily like that, so we get 2 layers of doily? I mean, to be honest, it might not be necessary because that's quite invisible under there, isn't it? You can't really see it under that transparency, so perhaps I'll just go for one doily layer, or we could go for, oh, that's quite nice, having it folded up like that. And then I've just got this vintage document here. Do you want it that way or that way? I think we're going to have it this way because it's got quite a big folded area. So just pop that one down there, and then we'll just pop this one in there like that. So quite a lot of papers now are, you know, encased in there. So that's going to be our, you know, our body of our journal. Now for the cover, I do happen to have a couple of covers. So these are just literally some thick paper. So this is 250 GSM, and I've put 2 sheets together and just stitched them on the sewing machine, and they just happen to be blue. So this was not intentional or anything, but they just happened to be laying around on my desk, and I thought, oh, they might be quite handy for this. So okay, yeah, so like that. Now again, I'm going to have to coffee dye this because it's not going to be the grungy sort of look that I've got going on with the papers, so that's fine. So I'm just going to again quickly now coffee dye this. This is just like on the fly crafting. Now obviously you could use anything at all for the cover. I mean, I'm using this because it caught my eye. It was kind of like tucked under something, and I thought, oh, perfect, you know, that's going to just go perfectly with this. You don't have to use, you know, digital paper or anything like that. I mean, you could literally use like a paper bag and double it over and make a cover. Anything at all would be fine. I'm just kind of like grabbing something that was laying around. So again, just quickly coffee dye that. And then I'm going to just dry this off and quickly iron this as well. So I'll stop the camera obviously for that. There we go. I'll just wipe up the coffee. Right, I'll be back in a minute. Hold on. Okay, so I've dried it and I've ironed that. Now I have to say again, it's still not completely dry, but hey, it will do. So I'm going to just fold it in half like that. And again, you know, it doesn't have to be perfect. If you kind of like fold it slightly more one side than the other, you know, it doesn't matter at all. So just squish that down like that. Okie dokie. Then all of my papers. Now again, here you could take these straight to the sewing machine and stitch straight down the edge. I'm not going to do that. I think I'm going to just what do I want to do with these? I think just punch them with a hole, and then I think bind them maybe with some what do you call it, baker's twine. I think would be quite nice on here. And then we'll just kind of decorate this up a little bit. So got here some lace. Oops. Again, I'm just pulling in sort of bits and bobs that I happen to have laying around on the desk. So I'm thinking maybe pop some lace, you know, in my fold, which would be, you know, my spine, like that. Yeah, that's going to look quite pretty, isn't it? So, right, let's gather these papers again. Now, obviously, we've got to be careful and mindful of any small bits of paper, and obviously the smallest piece is the transparency here, which is great because it's at the front so I can see it, because you want to obviously make sure that's incorporated in the punched holes. So just gather all of your bits of paper, like here where I've got the paper bag, just going to move it up slightly. I mean, again, play around with these because, you know, you might decide that you like your papers all staggered around, you know, random sort of spacing. That may make it more difficult for punching your holes. So, you know, that's something to kind of bear in mind, I suppose. But there we go. Right. Okay. Now I'm going to just pinch these with the bulldog clip like that, and then take my hole punch. Now we could put eyelets in. I'm not going to do that. Now the reason being is because the eyelets make it very, very permanent, and also they're going to eat in and encroach on what you can do with your pages. So I'm going to actually tie these with baker's twine. So let me just grab some twine in here. Okay, so I've got some blue. Yep, just going to use the blue. May even want to ink it up so that it looks more vintagey, so just going to pop a hole here like that. Oops. That there. And then, oops, sort of approximately, oops, approximately there. Okay. Right, looking good, looking good. So let's get rid of that out of the way. Oh, look at what I've done. What an idiot. Didn't incorporate the 2 back pages. What an absolute wally. Right, let me put this back. Just get rid of those bits of paper so that I can see where my holes are. Right, just move that there. Okay, one. Again, just get rid of those so I can see where the hole is. Oops. Should have obviously really incorporated this now into the bulldog clip, but oops. Oh no. There's still a bit of paper so I couldn't see. Right, there we go. There we go. Right. Now just going to, yeah, ink up the baker's twine a bit, just because otherwise it's perhaps looking a little bit on the new side. Oops, must have not used this colour before because it's still, oh, it's still, you know, tucked in, which is really annoying because I can't really see. Oh, there we go. Right, okay, so I'm just going to ink this. Just make it look a bit more yummy and vintage. So, okay, and yep. Doesn't have to be like all over it, but just so we get a bit of it covered. Okay. Like that. Right, okay, looking good. Now, I can't quite decide. Oh, yes, yeah. So we're going to put that like that and then poke our baker's twine. Let me just cut this because it's coming unravelled, which would obviously then be way harder to thread through. Oops. Oh, come on. No, this is not going very well. Let me just hold these with the bulldog clip because otherwise, yeah, I can't really put the holes, you know, in the right places. So, right, let's do the front one and then I'll regather it for the second one. Okay. Oops. Hate it when that happens. You know, when your baker's twine kind of starts coming unravelled when you're pulling it through. There we go. Better. That's that one. And then just need to like regather it so as I get through the holes. I'll get the holes in the right places. There we go. Again, just whoops, clip that together. Oh gosh, come on. Right, just hold it still. So again, just going to cut this where it's become unravelled. Put that through here. Oh, come on. Like that. Okay, looking good. Right, now we can just literally tie that in. So like that. Okay, my baker's twine's not coloured there, so let me just quickly ink it up here as well. There we go. That's fine. Right, let's just cut that down. Okay, put that away. Oh, trying to be a bit organised with the baker's twine. Right, so then what we can do is pop some lace just here in the center. Doesn't have to be lace if you've got any fabric that you think might go. Oh, I'm just thinking, I've still got that fabric from my daughter's dress, so I know it's obviously it's not blue, but just wondering whether we could incorporate this with this journal. Let's just see. Oh, I don't think that looks right, does it? No. Well, that's a shame, isn't it? But never mind. I will use it eventually. So yeah, right. Get my glue. So just going to go straight down the middle. Oh gosh, now I'm having glue problems. Oh my goodness, this is just going to get worse and worse today. So now just turning into one of those rubbish days. I've just cut the end straight off. So hopefully that's... No, it's still not working. Would you believe it? Right, okay, hold on a second. Okay, so we'll just pop some glue here to put the lace in. I mean, the lace, it's just a kind of optional extra, but really it does kind of reinforce the spine. You know, once this has been opened and closed quite a few times, you want to make sure it's, you know, nice and robust and not going to be just, you know, falling apart. So let me just grab a piece of tissue. Okay, just mop that up a bit. Okay, snip that out at the bottom. Right, and then what we're going to do, we're just going to glue this into the back. Now I just have to be a bit careful there. So I'm going to glue this straight in like that. Now I have avoided the baker's twine. I don't really know whether I would say that was, you know, the best way to do it, or whether not avoid the baker's twine. I thought, well, that's going to give scope for, you know, very easily getting the pages in and out. If you wanted to kind of like, you know, add some extra pages, you could always add them. But what you've got then is your gorgeous pages here. So, you know, just kind of fold them over, and then you can obviously journal here. And you've also got the scope of obviously being able to undo this and take your pages completely in and out. So, you know, really pretty. And then of course you can decorate the front. So let's do that. So just going to, yeah, get some lace. So this is my Bluebird Blossom papers. Let's just see what I've got here that might go. I mean, I'm literally just grabbing in anything that happens to be laying around. So I'm going to just use this. This is from my Junk Journal Basics Kit 2. It's quite a nice topper, isn't it? And obviously goes really nicely with what's inside the journal. So yeah, loving how that looks. Is that lace up that way or that way? Oh gosh, I can never ever see. It's awful. I think it needs to go that way. Right, okay. So yeah, we're going to pop that down there. So I'm just going to take my hot glue. Again, you know, we're keeping this simple, so we're not making a kind of big elaborate topper. I mean, of course you could if you wanted to, but just for the purposes of, you know, this series, we're doing back to basics. So we're keeping everything very, very simple, you know, very easy kind of, you know, basic but beautiful. Basic but beautiful kind of effects and things. So, you know, to show that you don't have to go really crazy with what you're doing. Just very simple things can, you know, look absolutely gorgeous. I mean, look at that. That lace just happened to be laying around on my desk. Now, that way up or that way up? Yeah, it's going to have to go that way, isn't it? So again, just going to glue this down. Just using the wet glue here. Like that. Okay. Just pop that down. And, you know, you might be able to see I've left the lace kind of long, overhanging. I quite like that look. Obviously, you don't have to do things like that. You could always trim it down level with your cover, I actually think that looks quite nice when it's long and sort of overhanging. But, you know, we all have different styles and different ideas of what we like, don't we? So, you know, I'm not saying that that's going to be everybody's cup of tea. Now, I've just got some more of these flowers, which, of course, we used before. But, again, you know, I'm just gathering things that are within my reach and that I can see laying about on the desk and just trying them out. So, oops. I always just take these plastic centers out and just try them like that. So, could have something like that. What do we think? I think I prefer it just with this colour, to be honest. So let's just pop that colour, flower. Not colour at all, just flower. Yeah, let's just pop that flower on there. Okie dokie. This flower I'm thinking we could just staple onto a page. So, yeah, let's just get the stapler. Maybe just staple it on here. You know, for some just very quick and easy kind of decorating pieces. Now, do I have a bow anywhere? Let's just have a look. What have I got in here? Okay, I've got an ivory bow, which again, just can pop that somewhere. Maybe up there, maybe here. So, yeah, let's just, oops. Oh, come on. Like that. Okay, that looks pretty, doesn't it? Now, just going to get a blingy centre, I think, for that flower. Now, what else do I have that's just within reach that I can just see at a glance and think, oh, that's going to look good on there. Oh, nothing is catching my eye, which is a bit of a shame. Let me just see behind me. Oops, I've got here. Okay. Right, got some sari silk. We could definitely ruffle this up somewhere, couldn't we? Do we want it ruffled there, or maybe just kind of like going around here, maybe? So yeah, let's just ruffle this on. And again, you know, I didn't have sari silk for absolutely ages when I started journaling, so you know, you really don't have to have sari silk. If you haven't got sari silk, just use any fabric, you know, just, I don't know, any old clothes that you've got or anything, they're all fine. You don't have to have, you know, all these specialist things. I mean, if you know, want to buy them, that's great. But I mean, if you don't, and, you know, you'd rather not kind of buy loads of stuff that you don't know whether you're going to use, then, you know, that's fine. And you can just definitely switch these things up and use alternative stuff. You don't have to have all these things. Okay, a bit of sari silk there, and maybe a little bit just ruffled across the bottom here. Okie dokie. Like that. Okay, whoops. Just pop a little bit of glue there. Okie dokie, that looks very pretty, doesn't it? And then, yep, just want to get a centre for the flower. Oh, I have got these rosebuds. Not loving it with the green, but we could always take the green off. Yep, let's take that green off there. Okay, I'm going to just pop that rosebud in here. So, yep, just like that. Okay, that looks very pretty, doesn't it? And then, oops, just see if I've got some centers here. Come on. Yep. For the, oops, for the rosebud, not rosebud, sorry, the flower. Getting confused with what I'm using here, like that. Okay. Yeah, that looks pretty. And what else? What else? What else? Oh, I've got a little bit of blue lace. Oh, it's a bit bright. I think this is a bit bright for here. well, oh, I quite like it inside actually, so let's just use a little bit of this maybe. So I've just cut it into thirds so as I can get it on a few different pages, because you know there's nothing like having it in a few different areas to sort of make it tie in and have a bit of continuity going through. So I'm going to put a bit here. Okay, this is all just in my bag that I take to my mum's whenever I go there. No, don't like it up the top. It looks weird, doesn't it? I'll have it on there. Okay, there, yeah. Or do we want it on the bottom? Oh, probably should go on the bottom now. To me, that looks strange because I've got the other piece on the bottom. That just looked a bit strange coming out at the side. So yeah, I'll have to have that now at the bottom. Okay, whoops. Okay, like that. And then this one, just have it there. Or let's see. I mean, weirdly enough, I don't think it's great on this paper. So yeah, I think I'll stick with it being on here, you know, on these pattern papers instead. So should we have it there, right on that last page? So okay, like that, and oops, like that. Okay, loving this, very pretty. And then I think what we'll do, we'll just staple a couple more flowers so as we've got that bit of sort of continuity going on as well. Let me just see whether I've got anything else in here that might be good. That might be a bit green. Yeah, there's probably a little bit on the green side, but let's just see. Do I have nothing else in here that's worthy of using in here? Oops, I have got some little Varimontes trim. Let's just see about this. Okay. Oops. I'm sorry, I've got some sorry silk stuck on my hands. Right, there we go. So, oh gosh, that's very pretty, isn't it? So let's just take a little bit of this. I mean, we could have it in a multitude of places. To be honest, it will look lovely wherever it is because it's very nice, you know, very nice trim. So maybe on here. Oops. Maybe on there. Or maybe up there. Actually, no, I'm going to have it down there and then I might put some other on the other side. So, yeah. Just take that. Pop it down there. Like that. And then maybe we'll just have like either 2 or 1 just over here. Yeah, that's cute, doesn't it? Just like that. Oh, that's so pretty, I must say. Very, very cute. Now, do we want anything else on that cover? I mean, obviously I'm aware that we are trying to be, you know, quite basic, aren't we, on this series? So we don't want to kind of like go too crazy. But I don't want it looking really boring either. So let me just see. Got a couple of ribbon embellishments. Let's just see. Oh, what about that? It's quite pretty. About something like that. Oh, I don't know now. Maybe that down there I think looks quite nice, doesn't it? So yeah, pop that down. Okay. Yeah, love how that looks. Right, okay, so then what we're going to do is we're just going to staple a couple of flowers in on some random pages. Now, we can use the dark ones because that's what we used previously. Oh, I do have a white one here. I wonder what that would look like. Oh, quite nice, I think. So, yep. So I hope everyone's having a good day. I hope you are having a nice time and doing some crafting. Please let me know if you're joining along with the series. If you are, I really hope you're having a lovely time. I hope you've produced some nice things that you really love. You know, as always, do share in the comments below what you've made, what you've found successful, what you've liked, what you haven't liked. You know, any tips or something else that maybe you did. Maybe you kind of took my basic kind of idea and then ran with something, you know, slightly different and put your own spin on it. Do share that as well, because obviously, you know, we love getting inspiration from all different ideas. And, you know, mine are obviously not, you know, they're not kind of all the ideas that you can come up with. They're just kind of my basic thoughts at the time. So, yeah, just do share below what you've kind of come up with. So, oops. If you're in the Facebook group, maybe share some photographs of what you've made. Okay, love how that looks. Now, just wondering, I've got this here, which I'm thinking, could we have this now on the inside of the front cover just to sort of finish it off as well? So, yep. Quite like that. So I think we'll put that in as a pocket. So again, no folding, no fuss, no anything. We're just going to literally glue this in on 3 sides like that. Okay, like that. So, you know, we're keeping it really super simple, you know, stuff that sort of anyone can do, and definitely don't need to get overwhelmed and kind of, you know, popping in all different folds and all of that kind of stuff, which, you know, just becomes off-putting sometimes, you know, particularly when you're starting out, or if, you know, maybe you're busy at work and things like that, or busy with grandchildren or children, and, you know, you just haven't got the time to dedicate as you would like to. Then doing much simpler projects, it's a way of still crafting, you know, so you can still kind of like feel like you're enjoying yourself, but not getting too, you know, too involved or doing anything too major. Just going to cut this down. So this is some genuine vintage ephemera. I'm just making it small enough. Now obviously I need to be careful because that pocket's obviously not glued down yet. So yeah, just pop that into that pocket like that. Oops. I do want it to go this way round, but I don't want to fill the pocket up because it's obviously not glued yet. There we go. There we go. Right. So looking really nice. And then, yeah, I mean, could always pop another flower on there or something. Let's just see. Maybe. You know, and alongside the, you know, keeping all the sort of techniques and things very simple, we're hopefully keeping all the supplies that you're needing very simple, you know, not going too over the top. So this was hopefully, you know, very easy to pick up if, you know, if you're just building up your stash and don't have like tons of things to be using yet. So like that. Okay, now I did see earlier, thought I saw a little flat back pearl. Now I'm thinking, oh, perhaps I didn't. Perhaps I'm thinking of somewhere else. I've seen it. Yeah. No, I can't see it now. I do have some here. So yeah, might just keep that really simple with just that tiny flat back pearl there. Okay. Like that. Okay. There we go. Absolutely gorgeous. Like that. Okay, now I haven't put anything on the back cover, but you could also put something there, I suppose. I mean, I haven't, but like I say, you definitely could. And the only thing, the only other thing that I haven't done is I haven't clipped anything in on this. Now, partly that's kind of deliberate because I've got curly pages. I felt like having straight journal cards and things might be weird. But you definitely could. And now I'm just looking, you could either clip them on like this, or you could actually just clip them onto the top. So I'm just going to take a few little bits that we can pop on. So I've got here the beginnings of a journal card. Again, I haven't finished it off, but you could just put some plain paper on the back of there. So let me just see if I've got anything plain that I can pop on the back. No, of course, that would be way too easy, wouldn't it? To just have some plain paper sat here ready to use. So, right, I'm going to have to take this down. Okay. Let's just take this and, yep, just put that there. Okay. Like that. Just cut that down like that. Okay, so pop that onto there, just so you've got a journalable side. Now, again, I haven't even decorated this or anything, you know, the front of this. So, I mean, we're really keeping it very simple, aren't we? Just, you know, like that. I'm going to just ink around it just where, you know, I might have some white showing. Whoops, sorry, just gathered in my tissue. There we go, like that. And then on the front, to be honest, you could just put, oh, I don't know, we've got some of that transparency. Oh, that looks good, doesn't it? So yeah, let's just take some of that. And right, let's just go down here. Across here. Like that. So we could just literally staple that on, maybe with a flower. So, you know, again, very simple things that we're doing here. Let's just get a blue. Oh no, I think maybe white might look better on here. Yeah, let's just grab a white one. Okie doke. Right, and we're just going to staple this together. Over there, like that. Okay. Oops. Oh dear. No. Oh gosh, I'm having now staple problems. Oh no. Come on. I hate it when things like this happen in a video. Look at what's gone on with that. Oh dear. That was not very good, was it? No. Right, let's try again. Take that out. Right, going again. Okay. Okay, that was better. Don't know what happened on that first one. There we go, like that. So just a little basic journal card. I've got some vintage document there. So you could just literally clip this in up there, for example. So let's just grab a paper clip from behind me. You know, and you'll notice I'm totally just using, you know, plain paper clips and things. We're not using anything fancy or complicated at all. But that's just clipped in there now. So you've got a lot of journaling space in here because all of these pages are pretty much plain on the back. So you've got all of them to journal on. This is obviously loose, so you could always kind of untie it, take pages out, put them in or whatever, you know, as you please. And it's lovely and squishy, which we all love squishy projects, don't we? And then I'm just going to, again, tie that round just with a little bit of, oh, I was going to use sari silk, but actually I knew I'd bought this dress along for something. So, yep, let's put in my daughter's dress. Got this edge here, which I'm thinking, I just cut this down here. Okay. Like that. Now I'm going to, yeah, I'm going to go round here like that. I don't know whether I can just tear that the whole way round. Okay, yep. Okie dokie. So again, you know, you really don't need to have anything fancy. I'm literally using, you know, old clothes here. So, right, now I went adrift on there. So I started out, I was cutting in of the seam, and then I've obviously now taken it out of the seam. So let me just tidy that up a bit. And obviously this is very wide at the moment, so we're going to probably tear this in half so it's half thickness. Let's just see how it is being this thick. I don't mind it actually. Yeah, I don't mind it. Let's just take it down a bit less. So we've just got a bit less fabric. Oh gosh, now we've got way too little. There we go. Let's try this. I don't mind that actually. Yeah, I thought it was going to be way too thick, but strangely I actually think it's quite nice being that thick. So the only bit I'm not that keen on is the end, but I wonder whether I might be able to do something like, even if we try and dovetail that end a bit, I mean, you know, something like that. So let's see how that looks. Just tie that there. There we go. Oh, that looks lovely, doesn't it? So I'm just going to kind of like, well, I mean, it's not dovetailed. Look at this. Look at the state of that. But yeah, it's okay. There we go. So yeah, absolutely scrumptious. So lovely and squishy. Lots of journaling space. And, you know, again, it's a project that you could just sit down and you could complete in, you know, an hour or two. So yeah, I really hope that you like it. I hope you feel inspired to give one a try. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Love to hear your comments in the chat below. Really appreciate a big thumbs up to this video. And, you know, if you could subscribe to my channel if you haven't, that would be fantastic as well. So thank you so much for watching. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks then. Bye.